Are you prepared to quickly and confidently jump on your dream home if it pops up in 2024? If not, stick with me. I'm gonna give you 4 tips that anyone can do with 3 easy phone calls to get yourself prepared to make a move in the competitive 2024 real estate market. Now, of course, the first question would be, wait a second, Rich, I hear the market's slow. Why do I need to move fast? Why do I need to be prepared to move fast? And you'd be right, the market is slow in a sense, but it's important to understand what segment of the market is slow. So we are slow in terms of sales volume. In fact, most of North America is down about 40% in sales volume. We just hit a record low, a 23-year low in actual pending sales. That is making the actual transaction volume slow, but not the transactions themselves. So in my primary market in Dorado County in the greater Placerville area, we still have wildly low inventory and a robust buyer pool that wants to buy. For the buyers that can afford the payments at these interest rates, they are still jumping on good homes very, very quickly. And most of the homes I've done in 2023 have all been getting multiple offers still. And I expect that to continue in 2024. Now, in a multiple offer situation, it's crucial to move quickly, get your offer in a timely manner, and be prepared to offer the seller attractive terms. Things like quicker escrows, which are only able to be done if you've done your prep work first. So stick with me and I'll get you prepared to be able to compete in any market, no matter what we see in 2024. Before we jump into the 4 tips for getting you prepared to buy a home in 2024, I have one question for you. Do you have significant savings? Look, if not, that's okay. Many people don't, and it's all part of the home buying process. But if you want to go on a road trip, the first thing you do is put some gas in the tank. And if you want to buy a home, the first thing you need to do is get some cash in the bank. So if you don't have significant savings now, it's time to start a radical savings program right now. Now, what do I mean by a radical savings program? Look, it's not hard and it's not complicated. It just means consistently putting away money every month so that your savings grow and you're prepared for your home purchase. And in fact, it makes it easier and less stressful because you have possibly more money than you need when the time comes to pull the trigger and buy your dream home. So how do you do it? Now look, I could do an entire video on getting yourself prepared financially to purchase a home. But for this video, I'll just give you 3 quick tips. The first of which is pay yourself first. Take a certain percentage of every paycheck that you get and transfer it into your savings account to save for your home purchase. Now, 10% is a good target here, but if you can't afford 10% of each check, pick any percentage. The amount isn't actually as important as the consistency. It's the consistency that will make your savings grow. All right, tip number 2, look at all your monthly subscriptions. We live in a subscription-based world and they add up quick. And if you actually make a list of them, it turns out often there's many you don't use or need anymore. So download one of the apps that will automatically make a list for you, look over it and pick out the ones you don't need or don't use anymore. Tally up how much you spend on them a month and cancel them. And then transfer that amount into your savings every month. You already accounted for it in your monthly budget, so it won't change what you have to spend at all. You can call it your home buying subscription plan. All right, tip number 3 is to automate this. Look, it's way more fun to spend our money than it is to save our money. And there's tons and tons of shiny objects in the world tugging at our attention and at our wallets. So if you want to make sure you're consistent with this, the best way is to automate it. You can simply go in your online banking portal and set up an automatic transfer for the day after you get your paycheck deposited, and it'll transfer that amount into your savings every month, whatever percentage you had chosen, whatever dollar amount you've chosen. And then it's done. Set it and forget it. Do the same for that home buying subscription amount, and boom, you'll have 2 amounts going into your savings every month, and your savings will be growing and growing and growing, and you won't even have to think about it. My wife and I did this years ago when we were preparing to buy a whitewater rafting company, which is a story for another time, but I was shocked by the end of the year how much money we had set aside by simply paying ourselves first with an automatic transfer to savings. All right, you got savings going, check. Now, if at the end of this video you still aren't sure where to begin, feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me an email, send me a text. I am always happy to help. I've helped hundreds of families just like you start their home buying journey. Now let's get stuck right into tip number 1. You need to assemble your real estate team right away. So tip number 1 is to simply reach out to a high quality local realtor ASAP. Now, full disclosure here, I am a local realtor. So of course this advice can seem self-serving, but stick with me and I'll show you how this step in your preparation will give you the best chance of success. And you're not even gonna do anything with this realtor right now. You're just gonna get one crucial referral from them. Now I know it can seem counterintuitive and uncomfortable to reach out to a real estate professional when you know you're not ready to buy yet, but you need high quality advice from a professional advisor and you need them to connect you with that crucial first referral. So it's important to reach out to a realtor right away as early as you can in your process. So why don't more people contact a realtor early enough in their home buying process? Well, look, I've been doing this for 18 years and I found that there are 4 reasons most people don't get a realtor involved early enough, and they are really good reasons. The first of which is they don't want to waste anybody's time, and I really appreciate this one. Real estate is a time-consuming, rewarding, and demanding career, and I really appreciate it when people want to respect my time. But most often, if you don't get prepared early enough by a realtor, you will lose the first house you fall in love with. So it actually costs me more time and you a lot of heartache if you don't get a realtor involved early enough in the process. And look, on this first call, you're not going to go very far. The realtor will ask you a few qualifying questions, make a few recommendations, and give you that crucial first referral. So how do you choose who to call? If you throw a rock in your town, you'll hit a realtor. There's a million of them, and I get it. And it's so hard to filter through and choose. And you might be shocked to find out that on the order of 80% of people simply go with the first realtor they talk to in their home buying process. Please, please, please don't do that. Now I could do a whole video on how to choose a realtor, but we're just gonna do 3 quick tips right now that'll help you jump into the game, choose somebody high quality, and get moving. The first of which is just ask them how long they've been in the business. Real estate has an 80% attrition rate in the first 4 years. So 80% of the realtors you're talking to who have been in the business 4 years or less won't be in the business in year 5. And you want someone with the skills to make it to be your advisor on the largest financial transaction of your life. So that's an easy one. Pick someone who's been doing it 10 years or more. Number 2, make sure they live locally. It's really tempting to take a referral from a friend. I know a great guy and he's out of town. Real estate's real estate. That's simply not true. Local knowledge can save you money, time, and heartache. A local realtor who lives in the area that you're looking will be the best advisor to help you choose the right place for you and your family. Now look, they don't have to live in your neighborhood of choice. They don't have to live even in your town, but have to have lived and worked in the area. And I prefer my realtor to have lived in the area for 5 years or more, if that's the person I'm going to choose to advise me about moving into that area or making a massive financial purchase in that area. Now, number 3, this is the simplest and the most effective way to know if you're choosing a realtor who's looking out for your best interests or not. And that is to simply ask them this question: is now a good time to buy? Now, if they say this, run. Now is an excellent time to buy. In fact, now is the best time to buy. Come on, let's get in the car. Let's go. Come on. Run very fast. Look, the right answer to that question is something like this. Well, that depends on what you want to buy, on your financial situation, and on your timeline. So let's start with a few questions. And the realtor should take the time to get to know you and your financial situation before telling you whether now is a good time for you to buy or not. So if you get the now's a great time to buy, just move on and call somebody else. The number 2 reason people don't get a realtor involved early enough in the process is that they don't want to experience any sales pressure. Now, I totally get it. I hate sales pressure too. And that's why picking an experienced agent is so crucial. There will be no sales pressure on the phone, on an initial consultation, or at any time with an experienced agent. They're simply going to ask good questions, give you good advice, refer you to that crucial first person, and then set an appointment to talk to you again later once you've had your other consultation. That's it. That's all that should happen on that first phone call. If you experience any sales pressure on that first phone call, it's time to hang up and call somebody else. Now, the 3rd reason I have found that people don't want to contact a realtor early enough in their process is because they are embarrassed about how not ready they are. And I totally get it. Nobody wants to start down this road, talk to the realtor, and find out they simply can't afford it and they're not ready right now, and be embarrassed by that. But you shouldn't be embarrassed by that. Everyone starts somewhere. And in fact, the vast majority of buyers that I sit with in a buyer consultation aren't actually financially ready to make a purchase at that first meeting, but they never would have had the opportunity to get prepared and get their ducks in a row if they hadn't had that first meeting with a real estate advisor. So it's important to move through that nervousness about being not ready, because it can't be overstated how important homeownership is. Homeownership is your best hedge against your monthly bills rising with inflation. Once you lock in your housing costs with a mortgage, no matter what inflation is doing, your housing cost is the same every month for life, as long as you don't refinance or move. Homeownership is actually usually the first rung on the ladder out of poverty for most Americans, and it built the middle class. In fact, most Americans in the middle class start to build generational wealth for their families through homeownership. And a lot of families who put their first child ever in their family through college do so with money withdrawn from the equity in their home to finance that child's college career. So owning a home will absolutely change your life. So it doesn't matter if you're ready today, a year from now, 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, it will make that much of an impact on your life. You want to start early and get high quality professional advice to get you on the right road to homeownership. So move past that discomfort of worrying about your financial situation to go get that quality advice. All right. Number 4, the fourth reason most people don't contact a realtor soon enough is because they want to fix their credit first. And I get this one too. Why would you contact a realtor if you already know you've got credit problems that you need to fix before you can ever think of buying a home? And the answer is so they can connect you with a lender who can help you fix your credit. That's it. That's the first high quality referral that you need. You need your realtor to connect you with a good lender. And that's the whole point of step 1 and this first phone call. You're going to find a great local realtor who can refer you to a great local lender. I can't tell you how many times someone has come to me and said, oh yeah, I'm going to pay off this credit card first, and then I'll call the lender and I'll get pre-qualified for my loan to start my home buying process. Only to find out after talking to the lender that paying off that card wasn't the best thing for them to do. What they really needed was more cash in the bank for down payment, closing costs, and reserves. So the lender actually advised them to leave the consumer debt where it was and add money to savings instead. And that got them to be able to make a home purchase sooner than they would have had they gone down the road of just paying off the credit card like they thought. I've also had lenders say, hey, don't pay off one card in its entirety. Pay this one down by this much, pay this one down by this much, and pay this one down by this much to bring all of your ratios in line to get you ready to buy a home quicker. That advice is worth its weight in gold. That's why you need a good lender. So get on a call with a realtor and get a referral to a good lender. That's it. That's step 1. Now, I always like to shop around a bit with the lender, not necessarily to shop them on the rate. They all have access, for the most part, to pretty much the same rates. You might have slight variations here or there, but more importantly, you want to shop around your lender to find a good fit for you. You're going to be spending a lot of time talking to this individual, just like your realtor. You're going to be laying your entire financial situation bare to this individual. So you want it to be somebody you like and you trust and you can work well with, and it's always worth talking to more than one. So when you contact your local realtor, ask them for a referral to 2 or 3 great local lenders so you can call and interview them and pick the best one for you. Now, the obvious question at this point is, okay, Rich, if I need a lender first, then why are you telling me to contact a realtor first? And it's a great question. The answer is because you need a team that works well together. I have 3 excellent lenders that I recommend, one of which I've used for 18 years. If you're having a problem on your loan at 7 p.m. on a Sunday, he's gonna answer my phone call and we're gonna get a jump on solving that problem together. Now, if you've grabbed any old lender off the internet or via calling an 800 number for a national bank, that lender's not working on the weekends and he's not taking my calls at all. And with us working together as an efficient team like that, it's gonna make things harder and less smooth for you. That's why it's crucial to call the realtor first, get a referral to a lender they work well with and that they know and trust. So that's why step 1 is contact a local realtor ASAP to get that lender referral. All right, on to step number 2. Your lender is going to give you a financial roadmap for your real estate purchase. So it's crucial to contact the lender your realtor recommended ASAP and get them to do a full pre-approval process on you. Get you to the point where you're pre-approved, property address to be determined. Now we'll talk later on in the video why that's so important. For now, there's 3 things you're going to want to get from this lender on that first call. The first of which is just have them pull your credit. Let's see. Where do you stand? Are you an A-paper client, meaning you have access to the best loan products and the best rates, or do you have some work to do there? If you have some work to do to improve your credit, the lender can give you a roadmap to do it. They'll make a plan with you to get there the quickest way possible. Now, if you have severe problems with your credit, it may take them a few days and they may have to ask you for some more supporting documentation to make the best plan for you. Lenders also have access to tools that we don't have access to, like rapid rescore services. So once you make 1 or 2 of the moves they've asked you to make, they can then submit your score for an instant rescore. Usually takes 24 to 48 hours versus having to possibly wait a whole month for the credit reporting agencies to re-report and update your score. Now, if you're in a tight timeline, that can be really, really handy. All right, the other thing the lender can do, number 2, is to give you an idea of today's interest rates. Now, based on those interest rates, you can start to get a sense of what your payment will be. Now, do be advised that interest rates fluctuate all the time. So the rate that the lender has given you isn't necessarily the rate you will get at the time of your purchase. Until you have locked in an interest rate, you are subject to the whim of the markets, but it's a good place to start. It would tell you if you bought a house today, what it would cost you. Okay. Now, you can choose to lock in an interest rate, but only once you're in contract to purchase a specific home. Locking in the interest rate means that for the duration of your escrow period, that is the interest rate that you will get. So you know exactly what the payment will be at the closing table. Now, that's a great technique to use if interest rates are trending up or are very volatile up and down, and you just want to lock it in and know where you're at. Now, in a market where interest rates are trending down, which is not in general where we're at right now, sometimes it can be a good idea to float your rate and take the prevailing rate at the time of the close of escrow. Now, that's a personal decision that you can go over with your lender, but getting an idea of today's rates right now so you can start to estimate payments is really, really crucial. And estimating your payment is the 3rd thing you can get from that lender on the first call. And that is a crucial step to you deciding how much house you want to afford. Now, not need to afford, not can afford, but how much house you want to afford within your own payment comfort. So once the lender's told you what the interest rates are and you give them a target home price range, they can go ahead and tell you what you qualify for and what the payments will be. They can quote you a PITI payment. Now, PITI simply stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and represents the entire payment you're gonna make. Now, if you're fooling about with online loan calculators, sometimes in the first round or the first step of using those, they only spit out a PI, a principal and interest payment, which quotes you these wildly low payments, which gives people a really false perspective on what the true cost of homeownership is. So anytime you're talking to a lender or working with an online loan calculator, you need to always make sure you're working with a PITI payment. Now, that's another reason to make sure you're working with a local lender versus a national lender you got off the internet. Some of these national lenders are actually licensed in multiple states and don't live anywhere near you. Now, what happens with those types of lenders is they often don't know what to quote you appropriately for property taxes, but even worse, they don't know what to quote you for your hazard insurance. Most of them are going to quote you an urban or suburban hazard insurance rate, which will be in the neighborhood of 60 to 80 bucks a month. Maybe some of them are more conservative and say 100 bucks a month. But if you're shopping in a rural area, most of my primary markets are rural areas: El Dorado County, Placer County, Amador County, Nevada County. I really only have one county that involves significant cities that I work in, which is Sacramento County. So for the most part, my clients are shopping in rural areas that have high brush scores and are going to be subject to increased hazard insurance rates. So that's 60 to 80 bucks a month is going to be wildly low, and you're going to have a nasty surprise in terms of a much higher payment than you expected if you're working with an out-of-town lender that put in 60 to 80 bucks, and then a few days into the transaction, you're excited about the home, you actually get a quote for your hazard insurance, and it's way, way higher than that, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, which swings your payment up and perhaps makes your dream home out of affordability for you. It's important to know that stuff up front, which is why it's important to be working with a local lender. Now, when your lender tells you how much home you can qualify to buy, very often that is more home than you want to afford. So say the lender says you can qualify for an $800,000 house based on your income and debt profile, and you say, all right, what's the payment on that? And he tells you, and it's way, way more than you're willing to spend monthly. That's okay. You can then tell them what you're willing to spend monthly. We call that your payment comfort, and they can reverse engineer a purchase price from that payment comfort and say, well, if you want to stay with that payment, maybe you should be purchasing homes in the $600,000 to $650,000 range. And that is a great piece of information for you to have, because it doesn't really matter as much what you qualify for. It matters what you're willing to pay, what is comfortable for you to pay monthly. Now, we may want to set your online home searches for even lower than that, but we'll go over that in another step in this video. For now, it's important to jump on that call with the lender and get these first 3 pieces of information to get you started on your home buying journey. At this point, you've made 2 phone calls, gotten a lot of solid advice, and covered a lot of ground on your home purchase prep journey. Now, at the outset, I told you this whole process would take you just 3 phone calls. So step 3 is your 3rd and final phone call on your road to getting ready to purchase a home in 2024. And it's really a redo of your first phone call, so it's even easier. But look, before we dive into that, if you're getting any value out of this video at all and you're planning to purchase a home or sell a home in Dorado County, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, check off all notifications so you don't miss another video with crucial information to help you on your home purchase or sale journey. Step number 3 is to simply circle back with the realtor you spoke to in step 1 with the new knowledge of what you qualify for and your payment comfort. Now, on that first call, the realtor may have asked you a series of qualifying questions, things like how many bedrooms and bathrooms you want, what neighborhoods you're interested in, what school districts you might be interested in. In my area, like I said, because these are rural counties, El Dorado, Placer, Nevada, Amador, I also ask people how much acreage they're looking to have in that first call. And they may have taken that and your idea of what your price range was and set up an automated search for you right then and there. Because hey, looking at houses is the fun part, right? Babe, come look at this one. Now that we can go back to your automated search with the firm knowledge of what you want to afford and update it, this is where your local realtor can add a lot of value. They can prep you for what to expect in the marketplace. For instance, in my primary market of El Dorado County in the greater Placerville area, we still have wildly low inventory and a relatively robust buyer pool. So like I said before, for the buyers that can afford the payments at these interest rates, they're still jumping on houses very quickly, and we're still seeing a fair bit of multiple offer situations. So for that reason, it may make sense for you to set up your online searches, both the automated one with your realtor and the ones you're doing individually on Zillow and realtor.com and Redfin, for less than your maximum budget. So you leave room for yourself to come up in the case that you need to bid up to compete. That will keep you out of this situation where you find your home of choice, your dream home, and it's at your max budget. So for you, that also means your max payment comfort. And there are 5 offers on it. So now you have to bid up to be competitive, to have a chance of winning it. Now, because you qualify for more of a mortgage, and you know that from your pre-qualification process, and B, could technically afford it, it's easy for you to convince yourself to bid up to win on that home that you really, really want, because now you're emotionally invested. Now, by setting your price range below max budget and leaving yourself room to bid up, you keep yourself out of that situation and keep yourself from getting swept up in a bidding war that will have you making decisions that you might regret later. Best case scenario, you have a more uncomfortable mortgage payment. Worst case scenario, you find yourself being house poor. And we never want that to happen for you. So you can have that discussion with your realtor and set your parameters accordingly so you have some financial guardrails set up in your home search process. Because remember, searching for your home is emotional. This is the hub of your entire life. For those of you with families, this is where you're going to raise your kids, and people get emotionally attached, and it helps them make worse, unfortunately, financial decisions. So having a few guardrails in place helps keep you out of those situations. Having this automated search set up is so important because it means while your realtor is out sitting with another buyer or doing a listing presentation or picking their kids up from school, this search is running all the time, and it will let you know of hot properties that meet your criteria almost immediately. Then you can contact your realtor, and because you're a buyer that has done their prep work, you can get right out to see the home, craft an offer quickly, and an offer that is attractive to the sellers. In a multiple offer situation, there are many things you can do to distinguish yourself. And like I said, I'll do a whole nother video on how to win a multiple offer situation. But for now, suffice it to say, the preparation you've done in these first steps is what will help you make your offer the winning offer. You can offer the seller a quicker escrow, which is very attractive, and you can show that you are completely pre-approved, property address to be determined. That means that you qualify for the loan, and we already know that. And the only thing that has to qualify for the loan now is the home itself, which sets you apart from other buyers that are bringing in a simple pre-approval letter. Now, you can only make great plans like this, have financial guardrails set up for yourself, and be in a position to move quickly and confidently on your home purchase when you have a solid real estate team behind you, which is why it's so crucial to contact a realtor and a lender as early as possible in your home buying process, which will make you so much more successful. Which brings us to our final tip. All right, you've done all the prep work, you've gotten great advice. Now it's time to simply work your plan. Get the lender all the documentation they need to get you fully pre-approved property address to be determined, which, like I said before, will make you stand out in a multiple offer situation. Save aggressively, build in some financial guardrails in your search process, and you will be prepared to jump on your dream home when it pops up in 2024. And now look, if you're still not sure at the end of this video where to begin, feel free to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me an email, send me a text. As you can see by this video, the backbone of my business is educating buyers and sellers so they can make the best possible real estate decisions, and I'm always happy to help. And if you want more great real estate education, well, watch whatever YouTube's recommending up there or up there. Could be anything, really. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.